Hello, everyone. Welcome to the English Learner Podcast. I'm Anna, and if you want to sound more natural and confident in English, make sure you subscribe so you can practice with us every day.
Hi everyone, I'm Tom. We share real conversations, simple tips, and daily life examples, so subscribing helps you improve step by step without pressure.
Today, we're talking about how to sound more natural in English because many learners know grammar but still feel unsure when speaking.
Sounding natural is not about using difficult words. It's about speaking clearly, comfortably, and naturally.
One important habit is using short and simple sentences in daily conversation.
For example, instead of long answers, you can say, "That sounds good," or "I'm not sure yet."
These short responses sound very natural and are used by native speakers all the time.
Another way to sound natural is using common expressions like actually, maybe, or I think.
You can say, "I think this is a good idea," or "maybe we can try later."
These words make your speech softer and more natural.
Another tip is to avoid translating directly from your first language.
When you translate word for word, your English may sound unnatural.
A good activity is listening and repeating short conversations.
You can listen to podcasts, short videos, or simple dialogues and repeat them out loud.
Repeating helps your brain remember natural sentence patterns.
Another useful habit is using contractions when speaking.
For example, say "I'm" instead of "I am," or "don't" instead of "do not."
This small change makes your English sound more relaxed and natural.
You can practice by reading a short text and changing full forms into contractions.
Another natural habit is using fillers like well, so, or you know.
For example, "Well, I'm not sure," or "So, what do you think?"
These fillers give you time to think and make your speech smoother.
A speaking activity is to answer simple questions using fillers.
Well, I usually wake up at 6, or so I like studying in the morning.
Another tip is to react naturally in conversation.
Instead of saying nothing, you can react with, "Really? That's interesting," or "Oh, I see."
These reactions show you are listening and make conversations feel real.
Sounding natural also means making mistakes and continuing to speak.
Don't stop talking just because you made a small mistake.
Keep going, because communication is more important than perfection.
Practicing a little every day helps your English feel more comfortable.
Over time, your sentences will sound more natural without thinking too much.
Another helpful habit is copying how people really speak in daily situations.
You can notice how people greet each other, agree, disagree, or change topics.
For example, instead of saying "I disagree," you can say "I'm not sure about that."
This sounds softer and more natural in conversation.
When you agree, you don't always need full sentences.
You can say exactly, right, or that's true.
These short responses make your English sound fluent.
Another way to sound natural is using common verb phrases.
For example, hang out, figure out, or check out.
Saying, "Let's hang out this weekend" sounds more natural than very formal sentences.
A good activity is to replace formal sentences with casual ones.
"I will investigate the problem" becomes, "I'll figure it out."
Another habit is speaking at a natural speed.
Speaking too slowly can sound unnatural, even if your grammar is correct.
You can practice by shadowing, which means speaking at the same time as a recording.
Choose short clips and repeat them with the same speed and rhythm.
Intonation is also important. English uses rising and falling tones to show feelings.
For example, saying "really" with rising tone shows surprise.
You can practice by recording your voice and listen again.
Another natural habit is giving simple opinions.
Instead of long explanations, say "I like it" or "It's not my thing."
These phrases are very common in everyday English.
Another useful trick is using time expressions naturally.
For example, these days, at the moment, or once in a while.
You can say, "These days I'm busy with work." This sounds more natural than exact times.
A speaking activity is to talk about your routine using time expressions.
At the moment, I'm studying English every evening.
Another way to sound natural is learning how to hesitate.
Native speakers pause and think too.
You can say, "Let me think," or "How can I say this?"
This helps you continue speaking without stress.
Another tip is listening for chunks, not single words.
Chunks are groups of words often used together. For example, kind of, a bit, or to be honest.
You can practice by writing short dialogues using chunks. To be honest, I'm kind of tired today.
Sounding natural also means being relaxed and confident.
The more you practice, the more natural your English will feel.
Another important point is that natural English is flexible, not fixed.
People change their words depending on the situation and the person they talk to.
For example, speaking with a friend sounds different from speaking with a teacher.
With friends, people use shorter and more relaxed sentences.
I'm tired instead of I am very exhausted today.
This sounds more natural and friendly.
Another habit is using everyday reactions.
You can react with oh, ah, or when listening.
These sounds show interest and understanding.
A listening activity is to notice reactions in real conversations.
You will hear them very often.
Another way to sound natural is repeating key words.
When someone says something important, you can repeat it.
You moved last week?
This shows you are listening and helps you think.
Another natural skill is agreeing in different ways.
Instead of always saying yes, you can say exactly, for sure, or I think so.
These responses sound more fluent.
Another tip is using simple linking words.
Words like so, because, and but are very powerful.
I was tired, so I went home early.
This sounds natural and clear.
A speaking activity is to explain small decisions.
I stayed home because it was raining.
Another habit is learning how to politely interrupt.
You can say, sorry to interrupt, but...
This helps in group conversations.
Another natural feature is using vague language.
People often say something, somewhere, or around.
Let's meet around 6.
This sounds more natural than exact details.
Another activity is to describe plans without exact times.
I'll study sometime this evening.
Another way to sound natural is accepting mistakes easily.
If you make a mistake, you can laugh and keep talking.
Oops, that's not the word I wanted.
This keeps the conversation relaxed.
Another listening habit is noticing pauses.
Pauses are normal and natural.
You don't need to fill every second with words.
A practice activity is to pause and breathe while speaking.
This helps your rhythm.
Another tip is using common endings.
And stuff, or something like that.
I was busy with homework and stuff.
These endings make English sound casual.
Another useful habit is asking follow-up questions.
How about you? Or what happened next?
These questions keep conversations alive.
A role-play activity is to share a short story and ask one question.
Sounding natural is about connection, not perfection.
When you focus on sharing meaning, your English becomes more natural.
One of the best ways to sound natural is learning how to react while listening, not just waiting for your turn to speak.
For example, when someone tells a story, you can say, wow, or no way, or really, while they are speaking.
These small reactions show interest and make the conversation lively.
A good activity is to listen to a short story in English and pause to react out loud.
Another tip is to use short sentences instead of long formal ones.
Instead of saying, I am feeling very tired after completing all my homework, you can say, I'm so tired after homework.
This sounds casual, natural, and easier for conversation.
You can practice by rewriting long sentences from a book or news article into short ones.
Another natural habit is using fillers like well, so, or I mean.
Well, I'm not sure. Or, I mean, it's kind of tricky.
These fillers give you time to think and make your English sound fluent.
A speaking activity is to answer simple questions using at least one filler in your answer.
Another way to sound natural is using contractions.
I'm instead of I am. Don't instead of do not. We'll instead of we will.
You can practice by reading a dialogue and changing all full forms into contractions.
Another habit is learning common expressions and everyday phrases.
For example, what's up instead of how are you?
Or catch you later instead of goodbye.
A speaking activity is to greet a friend using at least 3 different casual phrases.
Another important tip is copying natural intonation.
Native speakers don't speak in flat tones. Their voice rises and falls to show emotion.
For example, really? With rising intonation shows surprise, but I see with falling intonation shows understanding.
You can record yourself reading a short dialogue and compare your intonation to a native speaker.
Another natural habit is pausing naturally.
Pauses help your rhythm and let listeners understand your sentences.
A good activity is to read a paragraph aloud and pause naturally at commas and periods, just like native speakers.
Another tip is giving short and simple opinions.
Instead of a long explanation, say, I like it, or not really my thing.
You can practice by choosing 5 things around you and giving a short opinion on each.
Another skill is asking follow-up questions to keep the conversation going.
How about you? Or what did you do next?
A role-play activity is to tell a short story about your day and ask a follow-up question.
Another way to sound natural is using casual endings like or something and stuff or and things like that.
I was studying grammar and stuff.
This sounds friendly and relaxed.
Another tip is paraphrasing when you forget a word.
Instead of stopping, you can explain it another way.
The thing you use to open bottles instead of bottle opener.
A speaking activity is to describe 3 objects without naming them.
Another habit is learning common verb phrases for casual English.
Hang out, figure out, check out, look after.
Let's hang out this weekend sounds much more natural than let us spend time together this weekend.
Another activity is to replace formal sentences in your diary or notes with casual phrases.
Another way to sound natural is telling many stories about your day.
Short stories about small moments are common in real conversations.
I was running late, dropped my keys, and almost missed the bus.
A speaking activity is to share one funny or small problem from today with a friend.
Another natural habit is reacting to good and bad news appropriately.
When someone shares good news, say, "That's awesome," or "Good for you."
When someone shares bad news, say, "Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that."
You can practice by reacting to 3 mini stories in different ways.
Another tip is softening your speech to sound more polite.
Words like maybe, a little, kind of, soften what you say.
I'm kind of busy right now.
Another activity is to practice softening sentences you normally say strongly.
Another natural feature is using expressions for time, like at the moment, these days, or once in a while.
At the moment, I'm learning English every day.
A speaking activity is to talk about your routine using at least 3 time expressions.
Another tip is not worrying about mistakes.
Laugh, correct yourself, and continue speaking.
Oops, that's not the word I wanted. I mean,
Another natural habit is adjusting your speed.
don't speak too fast or too slow. Try a natural pace.
A listening activity is to shadow short English clips, repeating at the same speed and rhythm.
Another tip is copying connectors and fillers.
Words like so, anyway, by the way, you know, help connect ideas naturally.
You can practice by retelling a short story using at least 3 connectors.
Another way to sound natural is smiling while speaking.
Smiling changes your voice and makes it sound friendly.
A simple activity is to record yourself saying the same sentence with and without a smile and compare.
Another habit is reacting to suggestions naturally.
That sounds good, or I'm not sure about that, instead of always saying yes or no.
A speaking activity is to role-play a conversation with a friend about weekend plans.
Do you want to go to the park?
That sounds good, but I might have homework.
Finally, another natural skill is practicing conversation with different people.
Try friends, classmates, teachers, or family members.
The more you practice, the more confident and natural your English becomes.
Moving on, another key habit is practicing conversations about real situations, like shopping, school, or chatting with friends.
For example, when you go shopping, you can practice asking questions naturally. How much is this? Or do you have this in another size?
You can also role-play buying snacks with a friend. Can I get 2 cookies, please?
Another tip is using mini stories to explain your day naturally.
This morning, I spilled my coffee and ran late, but it was okay. I still caught the bus.
A speaking activity is to share one funny or small problem from your day and ask a follow-up question.
Another way to sound natural is reacting to mistakes lightly.
If someone makes a mistake, you can say, "No worries, it happens," or "Don't worry, you'll get it next time."
You can practice by role-playing correcting a friend politely.
Another natural habit is using common fillers and expressions in long answers.
Words like, well, actually, you know, I mean, and so make your speech flow.
For example, "Well, I was trying to finish homework, but my cat jumped on the table, so it got messy."
Another activity is to tell a story using at least 3 fillers or connectors.
Another tip is shadowing dialogues from movies, podcasts, or short videos.
Repeat sentences exactly like native speakers, copying speed, stress, and intonation.
You can also record yourself and compare to notice improvements.
Another natural habit is asking for opinions politely.
What do you think? Or how would you do it?
A role-play activity is to share your plan and ask a friend's opinion.
Another tip is using casual endings in expressions.
Or something, and stuff, like I said.
I was studying grammar and stuff yesterday,
Another habit is sharing experiences in a friendly way.
Yesterday, I tried a new recipe and it was a disaster, but fun.
You can practice telling one funny or small problem per day.
Another tip is making questions sound natural.
Are you free later? Instead of, do you have time later?
Want to grab lunch later? Sounds very natural.
Another activity is to practice asking friends for simple favors naturally.
Can you help me with this? Or mind checking my homework?
Another way to sound natural is using positive reactions often.
That's great. I love it. Perfect.
You can practice by reacting to at least 5 statements naturally each day.
Another tip is mixing mistakes and corrections in practice.
I went to the store.
Small mistakes make speech real and natural.
Another activity is to have many conversations with friends or classmates using at least 3 natural tips.
Finally, if you enjoyed learning how to sound more natural today, make sure to share this podcast with your friends, classmates, or family. Leave a comment telling us which tip helped you most, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Sharing helps others practice English. Commenting lets you try your speaking skills, and subscribing motivates you to practice every day.
Thank you so much for listening. Keep practicing natural English, try these activities every day, use fillers, reactions, mini stories, and role plays, and we'll see you in the next episode on the English Learner Podcast.